That shit was off the dome.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another episode of the Bright Now podcast. We're recording this at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday. Is this the first pod of the year? January 2nd, 2024. I am here, Dash, your host, Earl Sweatshirt to my Vince Staples, TJ, the Trail 3 God. What are we talking about today on that Tuesday, TJ?
Well, we're going to spend all today talking about why Bol is better than Victor Wembanyama. No, not for real, guys. Going to break down the last couple of Suns games we've seen. Saw them get a W against the Magic and then just absolutely dominate the Portland Trailblazers last night. Going to be a little bit of a shorter episode for you guys today. Going to try to keep this under 30 minutes. Just give it a little piece of what the Suns are going through during the week of actions. Going to try to keep this on Tuesday nights going, so keep a lookout for that. Also, if you haven't already, follow us now on X at Bright Now Phoenix. We're going to throw that out on the screen, I'm assuming, in post-production. I feel like that's what the professionals like to say.
Yep.
So make sure to follow us there. Going to be pumping out content daily on there. Kind of gives you a chance to interact with us. Maybe do some Q&As eventually. But yeah, definitely go follow that along with subscribing to the Bright Now YouTube channel and the Dash and Hoop YouTube channel. But first, going to break down talking about the Orlando Magic, like I said, break down the Trailblazers game from last night, and then do a quick little preview of the Clippers game that we got coming tomorrow. To start things off, we get the win against Orlando on the 31st on New Year's Eve, 112-107, moving the Suns up to 17-15 on the season at that point. Just want to run through some quick stats before we hear your thoughts on it, Dash. Kevin Durant starting us off with 31 points, 12 for 21, 3 steals on top of that, with 18 points coming in the second half. We had Book, kind of a slower night from him as far as the total season has been concerned, 21 points, 7 for 17 with 5 assists. Only 5 points in the second half of that one, though, so that was a little questionable from him. Bradley Beal, probably his first excellent game of the season so far, 25 points, 10 for 13, and just a huge block. Bradley Beal might be our best rim protector after that one. I haven't seen evidence of anybody else doing that. Grayson tacking in 10, didn't score in the second half. And then Nurkic with 19 points and 13 rebounds. The sad part of all this, our bench combined for 6 points, and all of those 6 came from Chimezie Metu. So pretty much all the starters in this one against the Magic. What were your kind of initial thoughts thinking about that game?
Man, so I was just super excited to finally see Bradley Beal come out with the game. There were just multiple mid-range jumpers where I saw him taking the open space. And, we're already known as a team that takes the jumpers. And, with me and you probably leaning more towards the Morey ball just with, in terms of efficiency and what's going to allow for the most opportunity to be the most efficient as a squad. I still was loving it. Seeing those shots, seeing him look a little bit normal. The back is... that's one thing that you never know if you're ever going to get all the way back to what originally was. But I was just loving what I was seeing from that man. You talked about the efficiency at the top, 10 for 13, 4 for 4 from the line. What was he? 1 for 2 from the three-point line. So, I'm happy with it. 25 points out there. Some guy that I'm selfishly wishing did a little bit better just for my personal propaganda to push out the Devin Booker propaganda. But we're winning games. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that Portland Trailblazers game, he only had 10 points in a bunch of minutes, I think 31 minutes. So it is what it is. We're getting wins. That's what I care about most as a Suns fan. I did want to mention how Paolo Banchero is a man amongst boys. This man was going through all 1 through 5, just going through the chest of everybody. Had KD on an up and under one time really filthily. Had me very excited for that team as an NBA fan. But as a fan currently of the Phoenix Suns, I'm happy on the current role that we're at because it was looking dire after that Dallas Mavericks loss. Would you agree, TJ?
Oh, absolutely. I was in almost full panic mode as far as that was going after seeing that us get handled by Luka yet again. I will say, especially in this Magic game, they're near the top of the league in forcing turnovers. They're a top 3 defense, and for us to hang 112 against them, all of our starters in double digits by halftime with only 6 turnovers. I think honestly that's the story of the game for the Suns, is only 6 turnovers. And then on the other end, we forced 11 steals. While the Magic, they are a really young team, and they turn the ball over fairly often, pretty much on the same level as the Suns do, to truth be told. But to see that help defense really stepping up and guys getting in the passing lanes for the first time, and it feels like almost all season, still plenty of issues there as well. Bradley Beal had come out with his quote. I think he said it twice now in some of these most recent games that the defense was just trash. He said it against the Hornets as well, said it against the Magic. So definitely hear him there. But it definitely helps when you protect the ball and you take it from them more times. The offensive rebounds were a struggle, but that's something that we're just going to continue to work on, just like the turnovers.
Let me add something that's a little more uncharacteristic of us as a Phoenix team in a positive aspect. And that was, ladies and gentlemen, we won a fourth quarter. Can I get a round of applause real quick from everybody here? Because that is uncharacteristic of us. Even though it was only by 3 points, I'll fucking take it. Because Jesus Christ, even in this Portland game that we'll be talking about, I think if I'm reading this correctly, that we did lose that fourth quarter. And yep, we went ahead and lost that fourth quarter. So, hey guys, we're making some steps. As you said in the pre-talk of this pod, that we played only a specific amount of guys right here. We played Eric Gordon off the bench 30 minutes, Azubuike only 8 minutes, Okogie only 7 minutes, and Metu, which is looking to be one of our bigger role players coming off the bench. He played 17 minutes. But everybody else took up the big chunk. No minutes from Eubanks, from Keita Bates, from Bol, from Sabin, from Goodwin, none of these guys. And do you think this is going to be what our playoff rotation would look like if we started today? I
think we're pretty damn close. To that being who are, I would almost say definitely our top 7. We were very high on Okogie, and we're really big as far as that goes. But it seems like maybe it's just going to be the spot minutes for him with the real downside with him is just his lack of offense that he brings. And you'd think, hey, we have plenty of offense, but you still need those guys to knock down those threes when guys get double teamed. So I'm still have hope for Okogie and sneaking into that 7 or in that kind of top 8 area. I do think we're going to need to, Azubuike or Eubanks is going to really need to step up. Azubuike had looked really good the last few nights, but then again, like we just saw, not a lot of minutes last night, not a lot of minutes against the Magic here. So
he looks big though, doesn't he? He's huge.
I told my dad that the other night. I was like, it's just awesome to have 2 centers that are 290 pounds and just bully through people. It's just nice to have those guys around, especially when you got
290 guy. That guy, you know what I'm saying? Yusuf Nurkic going off, looking at these young centers like they're. What did Kevin Garnett say that one time? These young gentlemen got my dick hard.
Oh my god! Oh my god! My mom watches this. Well, no, he's just seeing barbecue chicken. He's seeing barbecue chicken when those guys are underneath the rim. He's not scared about their size. We saw him do it to Jalen Duren, Mark Williams, Batazde against the Magic. Literally any center that's just young and up and coming, he is ready to put it right in their chest, which was something we said early on in the season as a benefit of Nurk, is he's going to punish the second half of centers in the league. When we go against Jokic and Embiid and those guys, no, he's not going to be he's probably not going to put up 18 points on them, but he's still going to get the ball in good position. He's going to throw really good passes. Some of his turnover issues are getting fixed up a little bit. There still are plenty of times where we're just kind of miscommunicating with our teammates, whether it's on back doors or if somebody's going to cut through and screen here, whatever it may be. But yeah, Nurkic was awesome. He continues to be awesome. Still happy with the trade.
How did you feel about how Metu played defense against our boy Franz Wagner?
He was a cone, dude. And Franz is amazing. One of the best. I mean, what they have in Orlando is maybe the best young duo in the league in terms of just the top 2 guys that you have. And so it's no shame to have Franz Wagner score points on you like that, but he needs to make them work a little bit harder, especially if he's going to be one of our 7 guys in the rotation. Because as we know, Booker, better defensively, not going to guard big guys at all. Beal, with the back injury, he's looked 10 times slower on defense, and he was already a bad defender to begin with.
Yeah, let's not even ask him to do that.
Exactly. KD trying his best. He's probably our best rim protector at this point. But we need defenders. And Metu, he can knock down threes. I think he's capable of banging inside. He's crazy athletic. So it just needs that effort needs to set up a little bit more intensity on that end. And that's where he can solidify his spot in the rotation.
Great way to put it right there. Was there anything else you really wanted to add for this Magic game? I mean, I talked about it at the beginning. You know, Paolo Banchero looking like a man out there doing his thing. Franz finishing with 27, 6, and 6. I really like Anthony Black's game so far. I know he only finished with 2 points and a minus 19 out there on the floor, but it's a young guard thing.
It was a bit. It was his points. It was a big dunk. I remember his points very specifically, but it was very, very quick and it was over with pretty quick. No, the one thing that I do want to say is I got a couple of more points that I want to touch on with this Magic game. The first being we gave up 22 second chance points off of 8 offensive rebounds. Those are the things that are going to kill us come playoff time, just giving up extra possessions. Bethesda had 4 offensive rebounds for himself. So that part is definitely disheartening. So need to buckle it down there. As I said before, the turnovers against the top 3 defense, that's phenomenal and the best ball security we've shown all year. But the final part is that the Magic they have the worst 3-point percentage in the league, and I do want to give our team credit for kind of following the scouting report here. They only averaged 30 threes per game, near the bottom of the league, and we ended up kind of forcing them into 37. I think we did a good job of kind of keeping them out at the 3-point line, not getting too overzealous on our closeouts and understanding who we're playing against. So definitely appreciated that from kind of a schematics coaching perspective. But overall, we need more help from the bench if we're going to continue to win games. And thankfully against the Blazers, the bench really did step up in a solid way. But so those are kind of like the main pieces as far as the Magic go.
Can I reinforce your three-pointers point right here? I mean, look at Paolo Banchero, 2 for 6 from 3. Franz Wagner, 2 for 8 from 3. Jalen Suggs really thought he was going to be able to shoot the ball with 1 for 7 from 3, 1 for 10 as a whole in the game. And then we had Gary Harris shoot 1 for 6 from 3. And then one thing I also wanted to add on before you wrapped up, do you remember when Jonathan Isaac was supposed to be good? Where is he? I know he was hurt this game, but he's been hurt for the past 5 years.
But every like few weeks, you'll see the tweet or like the video where it's like Jonathan Isaac's back. He's gonna be a problem.
No, and he's not.
MAGA Isaac. That's what he gets for not kneeling during the bubble. Bastard.
That's too real. Anything else for this Magic game?
Nothing from this Magic game except that I am going to be seeing the Magic live and in person on January 17th coming up. So he's seeing them take on the Atlanta Hawks here soon. So maybe we'll have some more Franz and Paolo updates soon.
Fuck yeah. No, that's what I like to hear. All right. Well, are we saying go Hawks? Are we allowed to say that in this podcast or no?
No, I don't. I'm not even fully on the go Hawks train. I'm rocking the Atlanta Braves. Shout out to those guys. Fully committed to the Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But yeah, let's see what the Trailblazers are up to.
Yeah, let's go into the Trailblazers game. 109-88, and if I'm being completely honest, this looked like a fuck around game. What did you say both these teams looked like before?
Yeah, it looked like both of these teams went out the night before. They were out on New Year's for sure. It just had that kind of energy to the game. Not super intense by any measure of the word. In defense of both of them, the Suns played on a back-to-back, which why the hell would the NBA schedule anybody on a back-to-back for New Year's? Like, if your boss did that to you at your desk job, you'd be fucking pissed. And so whatever, they're making millions of dollars to play a game, whatever. I still think they should get the holidays off too sometimes. And Portland does just suck at the end of the day. Like, no, I know they beat us last time we played. They do suck. I don't think I'm breaking news with that one. So maybe they didn't go out, but it sure as hell looked like they were nursing some hangovers.
They did. Thank God they didn't have DeAndre Ayton because he looks to just absolutely kill us every time he plays against us as a Portland Trailblazer.
So this is one of my points. I didn't even think about Ayton last night. Didn't even really recognize that he wasn't playing. Just didn't even cross my mind. So I was just like, I'm finally over it. Like, is this what like absolution? I feel like I'm in Nirvana. Like I'm done. It's gone. The horrors are over.
The first day you didn't think about the ex after a long relationship.
Exactly.
Like a fruition came out on a walk. Thought about
it. It's like, damn. So yeah, shout out to Dominating. I'm over him. I'm over him finally.
Well, shit. Well, it helped us out because, you know what I'm saying, Grant Williams III is already out having issues himself. We had a lot of third-string and fourth-string bigs come out here for the Portland Trailblazers, guys I've never seen play before. And as we mentioned with the Magic game, Yusuf Nurkic saw some barbecue chicken because this man finished off with 18 points, 5 assists, and 7 rebounds, shooting 6 for 8 from the field, and just played a really great game.
In 25 minutes.
In 25 minutes, I was going to say, allowing our guy Bol to come in and step up. What did you see from our guy, Bull.
Just some. He's so dynamic when he's put in the right positions. Just when you give him the ability to do what makes him great, and he looked really good in transition with that Euro step dunk.
He did. 9 rebounds.
Knocked down a 3. Obviously, with that insane length we all see of that. You'd like to see him get some blocks every now and then, but even just have him being a deterrent in those 19 minutes that he played is awesome. So I don't know if he's going to crack the rotation and be our backup center. I've still, as of lately, like Azubuike here only getting 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Drew Eubanks getting 5.5 minutes. So not sure what's going through Frank Vogel's mind. Obviously, we're not in the practice gym, so we don't know what's going on day to day. So hopefully maybe it's more of a matchup thing. We've seen that all season where he really is playing the matchups in terms of who's getting those extra minutes off the bench. But really hoping to see, and especially in a blowout like this, everybody's going to get in. I mean, it's a little disappointing we haven't seen Saban Lee or I feel like we haven't seen Nasir Little in I don't even know how long now. Mm-hmm. So still some question marks with Frank Vogel, but we're figuring it out.
I'm just super confused because, like you said, talking about Nasir Little just flat out. I mean, I'm as big as a Saban Lee guy as the next guy, but Nasir Little has showed multiple flashes that he can actually put the ball in the basket, and not being able to go against his former team is a little weird. I don't know.
And I think he's a really good defender too. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe he missed a curfew or something stupid. Shit like that still does impact it at this level. It was late for a team meeting sort of thing. But
does Frank Vogel give those vibes though? I feel like sometimes he's a little bit of like the pushover coach.
He does feel a little substitute teachery, right?
He does.
He's got some substitute vibes.
Who do you think has more power in the locker room, Kevin Durant or Frank Vogel?
Oh, come on. It's Kevin by a million.
Who has more power at the front office?
Kevin Durant could convince the team to murder Frank Vogel, and they would do it. If he was like, hey, guys, we have to kill Frank. I'm sorry, but we'll win a championship. Just trust me. We got to kill Frank. All right, let's go.
So do y'all want to win? I want to win.
Drew Eubanks sprints out of his chair. No, they're ready.
Speaking of Drew Eubanks, I thought he was about to get cut from the damn team. I mean, I'm glad he got a few minutes this game. We're just so low on him. And I know we talked about the plus minus, him having an awful, and Metsu just really stepping up. We got our guy Azubuike stepping up. Is this the future of Drew Eubanks for the Phoenix Suns?
I kind of hope not, because I've always liked his minutes. And I never thought he was a superstar or even a star or even great or even necessarily good. He was just but he did. It felt like he did his job. He was athletic, finishing at the rim. I was really pissed when Eddie Johnson said he wasn't an athlete at the rim. I was like, that's dumb. I was like, come on, Eddie. We've watched all these games together, man. Come on. How do you not see that? But it very well could be. I think the illegal screens are a really big part of it. That's just a turnover. That's really frustrating to have happen. So again, I hate to keep saying this, but we'll wait and see. I think Azubuike has moments where he doesn't, his basketball IQ isn't totally caught up with everything, and he kind of moves around. I don't want to use the term oaf, but kind of like an oaf.
Oafish.
Exactly. He's got oaf-like tendencies. So at this point, the Azubuike experience has probably been a little better. But even then, if you look at some of the advanced statistics on the season, his defensive rating is still poor. His offensive rating is whatever, kind of short. They're both small sample sizes. So, again, we have to wait and see.
Well, hey, going from a bench player, can I talk to you about a starter? We had Bradley Beal with 34 minutes in a game that was kind of just out of reach from the very beginning. Were you okay with him playing that much with, an injury such as the back? Are you more of hey, let's get him going? Or are you more, hey, let's keep him contained?
So I would have liked to let him ramp up a little bit more and start slower, especially in a game like this. But maybe part of it with the back injury is that you do have to keep it active, and if you do get too stationary, then it can kind of be a problem. So seeing him get 6 minutes in the fourth is maybe a tad overkill. I think we could have cut down on that a little bit. But overall, we're going to need him to play big minutes eventually. So maybe their mindset is just get him as many repetitions as he can, playing with Kevin, playing with Devin, and seeing where we can go from there.
Yeah, I think you're right. And looking at the plus minuses, Bradley Beal finished with a plus 22, being the highest on the entire team. Really happy about that. Devin Booker only scoring 10 points in 31 minutes, but the end of the day, we always talk about a win's a win here. And like I already talked about, selfishly advocating for a Booker dark horse MVP race, just as you did at the beginning of the season. I'm not sure if that's going to be able to come to fruition, just with how good we need Bradley Beal to be. If we can continue to have him just even 21 points on 50% shooting from the field, and it takes Booker to be scoring a little bit less, I will fucking take it. And
absolutely.
And just to touch on real quick, Kevin Durant did not play this game, everybody watching. I'm totally okay with that. This is a game that we do not need Kevin Durant doing, especially with him playing fucking 40 minutes almost on Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get this guy to sit out.
Yeah, it was a back-to-back for a guy that's 35 years old. Mm-hmm. No problem at all. I hope he plays tomorrow. It seems like he's going to play against the Clippers tomorrow, so fingers crossed that he sticks around for that. Kind of one of the final pieces that I wanted to touch on with this Portland game is that, surprisingly, I didn't know this going in, but Portland forces the second most turnovers in the league with 15.6. Wow. So that was kind of a shock to me. Maybe it's just kind of like their hectic play style. So we finished the game with 16 turnovers. Definitely jumped off the page to me. When I first saw it, the Trailblazers had 19, so we technically won the battle. But there were only 6 Portland steals. So that means we had 10 dead ball turnovers. To where it's just going out of bounds, illegal screens, and anything of that sort. So those are kind of self-inflicted wounds that we're still trying to get out of, and we've said it since the beginning that it's going to be a chemistry thing, just trying to boost that chemistry rating up. We need to give the right answers in the press conferences, just like 2K at this point.
We do.
To hopefully kind of bring that unit together and stop having those just kind of lazy miscommunication errors on offense and defense.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if any games we're going to go ahead and figure it out and have those mistakes, it's against a team like Portland. So let's go ahead and figure it out. Moving on to what you kind of touched on earlier, the Los Angeles Clippers game that's coming up in about 2 days. Or tomorrow, correct? Wednesday?
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Wednesday the 3rd.
Yep, man, this team has been on a hot streak. This is a team that I still do not believe in, but they've been absolutely cooking recently.
Yeah.
Moving up in the standings, a team that we're looking to chase, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. The Clippers have been extremely lucky to have those guys play damn near every single game this season. The James Harden experiment looks like it might be working, but we've seen it work multiple times in the regular season. Let's go ahead and see if this team can make it out to May or June. Any initial thoughts going up against them?
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about it before. I'm sorry. So we talked about teams that have good guards, good forwards, good centers, and how we vary against them. A team with some good forwards that we saw with the Orlando Magic, this is going to be a team with good forwards. Do you think we'll have some kind of similar success? This is more veteran-heavy compared to a young team.
Yeah, I think before diving into the keys to, I think, what the Suns need to win, I just want to paint the picture a little bit more on who this Clippers team is at this point in the season, because it does seem that the early season struggles and when they first got Harden and the offense was very stagnant, it seems like in the national media landscape, those thoughts have still kind of lingered, even though they have turned things around. Mm-hmm. So the Clippers are definitely an elite team, and I would dare to call them a title contender at this point in the season. 8 and 2.
I'm yawning. What the hell? No, bro.
They're 8-2 in their last 10. I said at this point in the season. If we entered the playoffs today, the Clippers are a contender. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Right now, they're 8th in offensive rating, 1.3 points above the Suns in 13th, 9th in defensive rating. I think they were top 7 in net rating total. They're 17-10 in their games with Harden this season. So this is an elite ball club, and they gave us plenty of scares in the playoffs last year. Mm-hmm. Definitely we need to take them as seriously as we take anybody else in the league. When I was looking at kind of those keys, because you did mention the star caliber at forward, so we are going to need to kind of nut up on defense and really get into these guys. They shoot. One of the keys, I think, for me is we got to keep their stars out of that close mid-range area. From 5 to 14 feet, they're top 3 in field goal percentage from within that range. As you get out to like longer twos, they start to drop near the bottom of the league there. So I think forcing those guys to just be uncomfortable and take those longer twos, force them all the way into the rim. And I know Nurk isn't the best rim protector, but he's still a big body down there and can still provide meaningful help. Maybe we see Bol get some minutes there, but they don't even necessarily attack the rim all that much as total. They're a jump shooting team, and we just need to be prepared for that. So how do you feel about that versus, how you had mentioned the young team with the Magic and those star forwards versus these guys?
Yeah, no, it's just really going to depend on how serious I take this game. I'm not trying to be one of those Suns fans, but if Kevin Durant doesn't play in this game, it's going to be a little hard for me to just be like, really digging in and finding some good things out of it, because Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant at the end of the day. And with Russell Westbrook being out there, being a guy who occasionally throughout the playoffs last year didn't have KD's number. Nobody has KD's number, but there was a lot of times where even the game that me and you went to, where Westbrook was coming up behind and getting those steals from the jumpers behind. Really cool to see, really exciting in that aspect. In terms of a regular season game, I 100% agree with you. We need to treat them, as serious as an Orlando Magic, even more the higher echelon. But it's just hard for me as a whole, thinking big picture, to really take this team serious. I've tried to, TJ. I really tried to.
No, I hear you there. I hear you.
This was my second bandwagon team back in 2019 when they first made the PG trade after they got Kawhi. I was like, hey, this is my squad with Lob City. Let's go ahead and rekindle those old feelings, Clippers. Let's go ahead and do it. And they haven't given me a reason to do so yet. So, I mean, I'm a little bit skeptical. I think James Harden is probably going to have a big game against us. Usually really good guards do have good games against us. We look at the Jalen Brunsons. We even go back to like some, good but not on great teams. Terry Rozier dropping 40 bombs on us, getting a lot of assists as well. I completely agree with you about the mid-range. If you could, I'll give you time to look. If you could see where the Suns are on that list, because I feel like we might be competing with the Clippers a little bit in that sense, just with Brad and Booker and KD loving that mid-range area. But man, I think it'll be a good game. If we don't have Kevin Durant, I still do think that we have a chance. I'm really excited to see how Nurkic treats Zubac, because they're almost in that same echelon or archetype. The really big, strong centers. But yeah, I'm excited to see this game. I can't lie.
So I will say, in regards to what we shoot, from 10 to 14 feet, so a little bit deeper of that range, we're like 3% lower than they are. When it comes to 5 to 9 feet, we're middle of the pack. We're at 42%. They're second in the league at 48%. So they even have that advantage there. They just are a jump shooting team. So that's why I think making them drivers is going to be very important, and kind of funneling them to that help. Because this will be a great test for that help defense and see how much we have improved. It felt like we improved when I saw the Magic game. We'll see if that's actually for real against an even higher caliber team. Definitely a higher caliber offense. I will say, and then kind of the next key that I think would be important for the Suns is just attack the rim. They have a pretty solid rim defense in terms of just not letting guys get to the basket. That starts at their point of attack defense with Kawhi and Paul George, because we know Zubac he's not a defensive stopper in the paint necessarily either. So I think that's a key, is just trying to hammer it and get into the paint and not settle for bad jump shots while we're forcing them into bad jumpers. I think that would be a good key. So this is kind of game I think could be really decided at the rim, who can dominate that, because we can both really shoot the shit out of the ball at the end of the day. And then another one, we need to get out and run. They are middle of the pack in fast break defense. Hasn't necessarily been our strong suit night to night, but we've seen flashes of being able to get out and run. So that's another, especially with the bench units, I think we need to get those guys out there, and we need to move them up the floor quick, because the Clippers are going to hit shots. We're going to need to hit shots. So we're really just going to need to pack our jumpers with us and make sure that we're ready.
I think the fast break stuff is going to be very essential. That's a great point to bring up. All right. Do you have any more points that you want to hit on with this? We're almost approaching that 30-minute mark, and I had one more just small little segment that I wanted to talk to you about. Do you have anything else you want to add?
So I'm not sure what your last little segment is. I do want to I want to see if we can guess what the line is going to be for this game. I don't know if that's what you were going to say.
Yeah.
So I want who's favored by how much. It's in Phoenix. As we said, Phoenix is coming on a 5-5 in their last 10. The Clippers are 8-2. What do you think Vegas is going to have this at?
Just straight from the gut, like right when you asked the question, like I had one just right away. I think it's going to be Clippers -3.
Ooh, I said Clippers -1.5. Right. I think they'll give us a little bit more credit after those last couple of games, especially the way if Durant, Beal, and Booker are all going to play. So I guess we'll have to see who wins that one, because I think the line will come out tomorrow morning.
Shit, no. If it's -3, I could definitely see some heartbreak happening with a lot of fans. We've been seeing a lot of heartbreaks. I don't know if you've been paying attention to these money lines. The Orlando one, Franz just took one all the way to the rack when he could have just held it out, and he just completely broke it. Had people
bad beat,
crying.
man. Bad beat.
Crying.
That's what's beautiful about gambling, man. You never know what's going to happen. That's why it's beautiful.
That's real talk. All right, last minute right here, TJ. The Athletic came out with their new power rankings for the week, they do it every 2 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and read them off to you. Can you guess who the number 1 team is at the moment?
The Celtics.
The Celtics, absolutely. Can you guess who number 2 is?
It should be Denver.
It's not Denver, but I'm going to give you one more chance. You're going to
Is Denver in the top 5? Is Denver in the top 5?
Denver is top 5, yes.
No.
What are you Googling over there?
Philadelphia.
Nope. And Philadelphia isn't even in the tier 1 for them, which is
crazy.
Wow.
Milwaukee?
Their top 5, Milwaukee is number 5. So their top 5 for the contenders tier is Boston, number 1. OKC, number 2. Number 3, the T-Wolves. Number 4, Denver Nuggets. Number 5, Damon Giannis with the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's so reactionary. Can you
guess where the Suns are in the categories? There are, let's see, 6 tiers. Or 7 tiers, my apologies. 7 tiers. What tier do you think the Phoenix Suns are in?
Better have to be in tier 2.
It's tier 3. So tier 2 is the brink of contention with LA at 6, Philly at 7, and the Pelicans
at 8.
Which LA?
The
Clippers.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I
should have said San Diego. Formerly San Diego.
yeah, literally. Those guys are San Diego for now.
LA 2. All right, and then number 3, the teams that are ahead of us right here. And I don't know if you heard that, but the Pelicans are at 8, which I don't know how I feel about that.
That's disgusting.
Tier 3, playoff teams. I'm reading out the 3 teams that are ahead of the Phoenix Suns. Number 9, the Orlando Magic. Number 10, the Miami Heat. And number 11, the Pillager, Jalen Brunson, and the New York Knicks.
That's stupid.
That's East at 12.
You know what? That's East Coast bias. That's because these guys don't watch West Coast games. That's why.
I think you're right. Yep. Any
Fucking
initial
bogus.
reactions? Who are we better? Are we better than Pelicans? Are we better than Orlando?
We're better than the Pelicans. We're better than Orlando. We're better than the Knicks. I know they just beat us more recently. We're better than them. I don't care when we have all of our guys healthy. We're better than them. I think we're better than the Thunder. I get all the hype, and I get that they're young and cute and frisky. They're not winning the title this year. They should not be number 2 on the contenders list. The Thunder should not be number 2. I'm sorry. That's just playing the most recent results of the season. And I guess maybe that's what they're trying to do, like a snapshot as of right now. But when you're talking about it in the context of who's going to win the championship, SGA and Chet are not better than Giannis and Dame in terms of winning a championship. I don't care. I think that's bogus.
Gen Alpha out here throwing in their votes to see they see the cool fits with fucking Shea.
Literally,
they see all these dudes.
They see the Instagram posts.
Yep.
God damn
don't know
it.
how to act.
Ugh, disgusting.
But all right, guys. That was our first Tuesday episode of the Bright Now podcast and the first episode of 2024. Me and TJ had a great talking about the goals and ventures for the podcast this year, and I think we got some great stuff coming your guys' way. A lot more shorts action. Share it out with your friends. Talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it. We definitely want to get active on Twitter. Make sure there's some interactions there with you guys. That's the best way to get out to us if you're really trying to, talk between us. We'll definitely be live and active. Anything else you wanted to add, TJ?
Nah, I think just excited for a new year. I want to say the future is bright, but I mean it's bright now. Let's go. Let's go.
Bright. That's fucking dope. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day.